Welcome one and all to the iOS Blue Cup number 4 to end out May. I'm Canafit, joined by Deedless. And Deedless, what are we here for this evening?
iOS Blue Cup, it's the 4th of May, and we do have a lot of teams participating in today's cup. It seems to be 11 different teams, and a lot of them Japanese.
Yes, we'll be getting up our bracket in just a second, but before we do, we'd love to get you guys in on the stream. If you'd like to play in our pre-tournament match, then just use the passkey ESL123 or follow the global chat invite. Both will get you into the self-same game, with, of course, starting things out as is traditional here on the streets. Our Aviator featured and Pap admins for today will update us when the first ESL matches are available, which could be pretty soon. So we'll get this one started, and then we'll let you guys join in as we go. So, Deedless, for all the fine people who were joining us on stream for the first time, what are the teams playing for today in the official ESL competition?
Well, Canafit, could you share your screen with me, please? Because I think we might have our bracket available.
Oh, well, in that case.
Not quite yet. Okay, anyway, guys, starting from the top, Game of Thrones will be playing today. They are from Mexico, Greatland from Italy, Into the Wild from Japan, Severe from the US, Square Empire, Mexican, from Mexico, Score Gaming, also from Mexico, Terra X from the United States of America, Targeted Gaming, Japan, Unretired, the United States of America, SimClan and Old Glory, also from Japan.
Yeah, so we'll be catching with them pretty darn soon. I think the bracket should be going up in a second. We'll post the links out to the various different chats when that is the case. But yeah, the team's competing for that share of the... Well, I say the share of. In fact, it is only the first place today that will take home $100 dingoes, as well as top seeding it through to the monthly finals. As we got ourselves, a few little players to play around with. We might actually see, well, later in today's competition, not just folks from the stream, but also knocks out ESL players joining in today's community games.
Hopefully we will have a lot of action coming up, Canafit. So far we do have 4 players playing on stream. Well, they are absolutely battling it out against each other. Currently, I believe it is Blade with 4 kills in the lead.
Yeah, we've got Edge joining in as well. So guys, we'll be bringing up these community games every time we go between our official ESL matches, as well as right now, which we'll see before the tournament itself has begun. So keep your eye out every time one of these best of 3s is decided on the way towards the best of 5 finals, in between each one of those matches. So when 2 games are won by any given team, we'll be starting up a community game which you can join in with. Of course, there's nothing stopping you from playing with people in the stream during the actual games itself, but we hope that you'll enjoy seeing the official ESL competition while it is going on today. Welcome. Oh, Dulzy coming and joining in. So if you guys who aren't familiar with Dulzy, you can catch him putting out broadcasts on the MC5 channel. Got a lot to talk about. I mean, you can also catch the VODs, I believe, on YouTube, and will be in the Twitch archives for a while as well. Definitely worth a look at if you're a new player. He does some really good explaining of some of the core concepts, but he's also got some stuff in there, some strategies, some more experienced players to give you guys the edge in these custom games, and perhaps even in ESL competition.
Well, guys, definitely check that out. But so far, the 6 players that we're seeing in this custom game, I feel like they have a good grasp of how to play MC5. At least they're finding a lot of kills.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out, of course, for any of the players who might be establishing themselves. Nice. I like the shred pick up here from Ichigo. As we've said before, the support cast getting the buff. Normally, you kind of would expect to see that be a class that's really only going to be that useful with teammates, but working out pretty well as a one-on-many weapon this time round.
Yep, definitely true kind of fit, but well, it's always nice to see people bring that out. Now, I believe the bracket will be soon live. Our admin, Aviator Feature, just doing the bracket right now. But guys, as we've said before, 11 teams that will be participating here today, so we do have plenty of action to bring you guys here today.
And during the course of today, so we have those custom games. Of course, what the teams are playing for in these weekly competitions, of which this is the last one of May, is a place in the May monthly finals, which will be taking place sometime over the next couple of months. But only the games that are played in May let you get into the May finals, where you can pick yourself up a much larger prize. Deedless, how many monies is it?
For the monthly finals.
Yes.
Well, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's either 500 euros or $500, depending on whether or not it's the red cups or the blue cups.
That's absolutely right. So 5 times the price of regular competition.
Hey, I'm smart.
So we see already, you know, some of the players in the game, I think Blade in particular, we were sticking on them for a while, has attracted a little bit of attention. But it's actually Zed, who I believe is one of our later joining players, who's really been able to... Oh, actually, I tell a lie, they're number 2, they probably were one of the earlier joining players. After the top of the scoreboard, 12 and 11, yeah, in freefall, it doesn't directly matter how many deaths you had. You know, you can die... I guess theoretically you could die 30 times to other players, but still be the top scoring one yourself.
Yep, as long as you always get one more kill than your opponents, you'll always be one step ahead, kind of it. I'm pretty sure that's simple math, and the way that a lot of people, they have won big wars in the past.
So last few minutes coming in, we might jump into doing a little bit of Battle Royale while we wait for that first ESL match to begin. Just as Dealer said, we've got some familiar faces in here today. Let's see, so Great Clan, of course, and Score Gaming and Score Empire, I believe their sister team. Old Glory, I think, is going to be one of our potential standout teams, as well as the US Severe squad. So I think we should have some pretty solid competition for you today, as well as, of course, all of our regular bits and pieces. Hero Gaming Simon, welcome to the stream. Hero Gaming, one of our moderators, and like his fellows, has been extremely helpful in keeping the streams nice and a great place for people to hang out. So Hero Gaming Simon, lovely to have you along for tonight's adventure.
No, well, we're happy that you guys are here as well. After all, the streams for MC5, it's 50% action and it's 50% having fun. And well, right now we're having a lot of fun with these community games, and we hope you guys are having that fun as well. But it also is partly, it's also about you guys having a good atmosphere in those chats.
Ah, well, Dulzy joined in late and still managed to take first place. So, as you said, Dulzy, the king of the MC5 podcasts, does one which goes out on the official MC5 channel. So, I think getting a chance to prove their skill here with Deedless, I think it's time. It's time for me to show what I'm made of with an impressive Battle Royale performance.
Oh no. I'm not ready for it.
Nobody is ready. Did I enjoy the 34? I'd enjoy picking one up in Battle Royale. That's for sure. If guys, you'd like to join in this particular Battle Royale, then please do queue in right now. The quicker you queue in, the better your chances. And hopefully, we shall meet each other upon the battlefield's most royale.
Most royale?
The royalist, you might say.
The royalist. The royalist. What are you saying?
I don't know.
Okay,
I think we've reached the other side. So apologies, guys, if either sounding a little incoherent. It's pretty late, especially in Europe.
In Denmark as well. So kind of it. I know you're a betting man. So which place are you gonna land? Are you gonna get the winner turkey dinner?
Well, I don't know. Like, I've done it before, but I mean, I'm no Dulzy, so I reckon, it's one thing to do it once or twice, but I reckon players like Dulzy and players like our ESL players could probably do it with a lot more regularity, stack up those Royale coins and start getting themselves the fancy duds a lot quicker than I could do it.
That's not an answer. Are you gonna win or not? Come
on. Let's say if I make it past the first 3 minutes, then yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, we ought to do a countdown then.
I think we might have a countdown. I don't know if we've got an in-game counter, actually. It's one of the things which doesn't directly do anything, but it's still kind of useful to know where you are. Alright, let's go for North Village. There we go. Shazam! Alright. So, of course, for you guys who are wondering where the ESL competition is, we'll be starting that hopefully momentarily, which is why we're in this game, because we can drop out of it very easily without having to get you guys in here. If we haven't got that ESL game by the time this one is done, we'll bring you guys back onto stream and once again. Actually, I might bring up let's bring up the volume on here a bit. Just
okay, guys, I'm just currently asking for our first game. So we should have a code soon.
Oh, nice. Okay, so we got ourselves some tier 3 armor. Got a E24 sniper rifle. I probably don't want to trade it in for the A6, which I think is pretty much just strictly worse. Oh, hello. And we've got our first punters. So let's break out the SMG. It's not a very good gun, but I think it's probably the best we're going to have for a while.
You can do it, Peter. I believe in you. Do you believe in you, Peter? Do you believe in your abilities to win? I take that as a yes.
I take that as I'm trying to concentrate, so having someone talking in my ear the whole time is not helping. Alright, so the basic thing which allowed us to win that one was I used the health pack, and I suspect they probably didn't.
PogChamp.
Hey!
I like it.
Alright, so we've, a very good thing we had tier 3 armor. I think if our opponent had been headshotting us, then we probably would have died. Fortunately, they did not, and instead, they probably just assumed that... Oh! Well, that's what I get for disentangling my cable from my desk. Is that a moment of standing still is a moment where you get shot in the face. Or at least in this case, the back of the face.
And you didn't get past a few minutes, so you were absolutely right.
I mean, it's not exactly the world's hardest prediction that you're much more likely to die early on in a battle royale than you are later. But hey, I'll tell you what is likely dealers is that, that we're going to be getting our first match of the day.
Ooh,
so,
yeah.
Unretired versus Score Gaming should be a solid opening bout. Guys, we'll be jumping there in just a second. Let's check to see if that lobby is up. Looks like it's not quite yet, so bear with us. We'll be back in just a few minutes' time with our first official ESL match of the day. Welcome one and all to our first round of ESL competition today as Unretired go up against Score Gaming. The rooftops are first destination as we are set for a very solid opening match.
We certainly are confident. Unretired and Score Gaming, we both know these teams and they have played in a lot of MC5 tournaments. Now Score Gaming, they're going to find the first kill with Rodrigo coming up with a grenade kill.
You can see Score trying to take control of the rooftop and fire down upon the Americans, the Unretired squad. Unretired in the last tournament appearance did lose out to Score Gaming in the their second round of competition. So we've got basically a semi-final quality match for you to start out today's ESL.
Well, the two teams, they are definitely finding a lot of kills. We already have 10 kills, 45 seconds into the game confit. And you know what? Score Gaming coming in here today as the clear favorites of this matchup. They are in fourth place, rather. As Unretired, they are in 5th place, but it's not like Score Gaming are going to get a free pass into the semi-final. They do definitely have to go through Unretired, who have shown good things in the past.
Yeah, in the last tournament Score Gaming played in, they took out Impossible Missions Force as well as Unretired before finally falling down in, I believe, the finals to Great Clan, who are in today's competition, I believe. Or at least I thought I saw them there before. Oh, actually, tell a lie. Oh, I think I might have making the whole thing up.
Oh, you heard that right. Dulcie's here.
Hmm?
Wait, sorry, I thought you were talking about Dulcie. Never mind then.
Alright. So let's check in with Danny. The Score Gaming mainstay.
8 kills, 9 kills, man.
Wow.
He is impressive and he's on fire today.
Yeah, Score Gaming are basically staying ahead because of how well Danny is playing. You can see Danny going for the low shot there to try and get under the Commander shield. JEC is there as backup, but can't quite punch enough damage through. Unretired, still keeping themselves relatively strong, but Rodrigo, another solid player for the team, manages to finish off the job.
Well, Rodrigo also with 5 kills, but also 5 deaths. Dulcie right now, one of the big MC5 players, currently sitting at 5 and 7. Not exactly giving the best performance of his life so far, but just enough to keep Unretired afloat and close to Score Gaming.
Up the stairs and back down again for Unretired as that hail of grenades makes them think a little bit twice about that approach, heading right into the guns of Score Gaming instead. Transitioning to the other side, another approach, but Danny is there again. And as you can see, in fact, the only player on Score Gaming with a positive kill-death ratio is literally keeping Score Gaming afloat by themselves.
Danny is definitely the big carry right now for Score Gaming with 10 kills kind of fit. This guy's on fire. Having died only 3 times just makes it even better. But Unretired, they are just 1 kill behind Score Gaming. So the rest of the members, they need to step it up a bit if they want to get into that semi-final. But now, Unretired, they are even 21-21.
Bay off screen, taking 2 kills there before finally falling down to put us into a deadlock as we head into the second half of our first game today. Lion, you notice that Lion is down near the bottom of the scoreboard for the Unretired team, but it's actually, again, the only player apart from Pato who is rocking a positive kill death record at the moment, and you need those even in small amounts if you're gonna win out a game.
Well, you will have to mention Bay also at the top of the table, sitting there with quite a lot of kills. So even though Lion hasn't died too much, if you're not finding more kills and you're all playing a bit passively, you're not helping your team out, which is exactly what Lion's doing right now, just running around. He needs to go out and find those kills, but for Unretired, the clock is ticking down, and they need to be careful not to take unnecessary risks.
Score Gaming ahead by 1 for a second before Bay comes through again for the Unretired squad. The Americans in blue looking pretty good for their first match. Getting a chance for revenge for Unretired here on Score Gaming, who sent Unretired out in the early part of the last tournament played.
There's 2 minutes left, and the teams are completely even. Bay trying to see if he can find a kill right here. It's 8-8. With those shields, it does make it a bit easier pushing out from these stairs, but it's going to be so hard going up there when you don't know what you're facing, you don't know where your opponents are, and they will be ready for you. And obviously with the high ground, it is a bit easier just shooting down upon those stairs.
We can see though for Bay, and I imagine for a few different Unretired members as well, making full use of the armor pack and Glutton HP booster core to get up to 180% health. With that shield as well, it's going to be so difficult to take Bay down as Danny holds the top of the stairs. Rodrigo taken out by Bay and Danny as well. This puts Unretired into the lead with just over a minute left to play.
But it's just 1 kill in the lead counterfeit. It's not really that strong, and it is very fragile. At Score Gaming, Rodrigo finds 2 kills and puts them back in the lead. But now, back even, Dulcie is able to equalize the score.
Does fall down in turn to Danny. Score Gaming operating with just 4 players up right now. The last few seconds tick away. No way we hit up to that score limit, but the time limit is just a few fights away.
30 seconds and Score Gaming sitting in the lead with 1 kill. Will they be able to control this? Will they be able to make sure that this fragile lead is enough? No, they will not, as they just trade right there. Unretired still behind 1, but they immediately get that 1 kill. 15 seconds, we could go down to overtime.
What a way for the first match to go, but we have got return kills coming in. Up on the rooftops, you can see the flood of shields coming out. Danny gets the final kill in for Score Gaming, and by the smallest margin, Score Gaming somehow find their way through that first game, but it could have been anyone's up until the final few seconds.
At the very last second, Danny getting that kill counterfeit, that is exactly what Score Gaming they needed, and that means that they're going to get game number 1. So Unretired, they're going to have to take it back on construction side because they have their backs against the wall and they need to win the next 2 maps.
Score Gaming going to be thanking their lucky stars, but they're also going to be thanking Danny a whole heck of a lot. Rodrigo did pretty well in the last game, but the rest of the Score Game were kind of invisible. We shall find out what happens once we come back from the break in 7 minutes or less. Welcome back one and all, Score Gaming and Unretired at each other once again, this time moving from the tall climbs of the rooftops all the way over to the sunny side of the construction site. So, first game in Score Gaming's hands thanks to a very strong performance from Danny, but with solid backup from Rodrigo. Lion was one of the players with the best kill-death ratio on the Unretired squad, but honestly the whole team did pretty well because they managed to get all the way up to the end, with it only being a single kill separating the two teams. Moving around the side as Unretired, they're actually starting off this one pretty well. Bay, we saw from before, very strong player, will survive with only 9% health, and you get to see there what the payoff is for having that 180% standard health, or with the assistance from Glutton and the health packs. When someone survives by just single digits health, you know that without all that health boosting, they would be dead and gone. So Unretired on a pretty solid path here with Bay and with Lion. You see Lion operating from long range, which is obviously a great way to maintain a low death, high kills. Whereas for Bay, they like getting up into people's faces and smashing them around with the 7-inch shotgun and the commander shield as well. Back up to 185% health. Esteban Quesadilla, if you'd like to play, we'll be opening up community matches between our ESL series, but we'll also, you can join into ESL competition. Entry is totally free. All you need to do is find yourself a team, which you can do by joining the ESL Discord, which I'll get Nightbot to drop into the YouTube chat, where you are, Esteban, at the moment. If you find a team from there, you can sign up and play in next week's competition, which will be on PC and iOS, and the following week will be on Android. Again, our apologies, and I think I didn't actually get a chance to mention this before, but the Android tournament was scheduled to be broadcast a little bit earlier this evening. Unfortunately, we were having some technical issues which prevented us, and I am very aware that's actually the second time in a row. So I can only issue my most grievous of apologies to the Android players. I will see if we can do anything about getting you guys maybe a Android community stream just to kind of make up for it a bit. Because
I think that's a fine. Hey, I think that's a fine idea, considering that the Android players, they are as passionate about the game as the iOS players. It would be nice to see them play on stream once again.
Yes, Steelers should come just in time to see Unretired. They've started out this first part of this second game very strongly, but Score Gaming, I thought they were just about to make a comeback, but maybe Pato and the rest of the squad have other ideas. Danny in close quarters, dancing around Unretired. As we have got Score pick up another kill, Danny manages to turn the rest of the team as Rodriguez comes in from the side. Unretired still ahead.
Peter, it looks like you might have been mistaken right now. Unretired, I can see them pretty well in the lead now, just with 3 kills. It's not the biggest lead, but it is a lead, nonetheless.
So if we take a look at the bottom of the map, Dulzy attempts to make their way into the sniper's nest, but JEC is there themselves, having gotten, actually with the recon class, having picked up the 7-inch shotgun, and it's a testament to how strong that shotgun is that JEC is willing to use it over the more traditional recon choices.
Well, JEC is definitely using this shotgun to its full effect, finding 4 kills and only dying 2 times. But getting pretty close there to dying, finding another one just by shooting someone in the back. And you know what, Unretired, they're only ahead by 2 kills, so Score Gaming, they're slowly catching up. And I feel like Unretired, they haven't backed this quite yet.
Unretired still staying ahead, but Pato, I think, is one of the ones who's really stepping up in this game. So he had Lion before, had the good KDA. This time around, it's Pato again near the bottom of the table. You know, not the most highest score, so I suspect that's going to be from a lack of assists on other players, but still doing really well for Unretired.
Oh yeah, Unretired, they're starting to develop this lead now with 7 kills and 2 minutes and 10 seconds left to go. They are sitting fairly comfortable here, and they just need to keep that momentum up.
Pato and Bay covering the left-hand flank. That's coming in is Rodrigo, but they are all by themselves. The rest of Score trying to make their way around the other flanks, and I don't know if Score Gaming can actually win this one out here if they just funnel themselves through this central point and right into the guns of Unretired.
They definitely need to be careful, because if this fails, then they're just going to be even further behind, and that's not what they want to be, or they don't want to be in that position with 1 minute and 25 seconds remaining.
Score Gaming won by a single point before, and it looks like, well, we've got Bay in the backside of the Score Gaming team. He's going to come in and I suspect make a big mess of things. Hitting from behind, gets that first kill, but JEC is trying to do the same on the other side. Unfortunately, the Bosk's damage over distance is not so good, and while this is all going on, the rest of Score Gaming are getting wiped out.
It's not looking good at all for them. 50 seconds left, Unretired. Nearly 10 kills ahead, and Score Gaming. It's not looking like they're gonna win 2-0 here today. I feel like we're going to scramble to find out who's gonna win this series.
The last 30 seconds are here, and Unretired, a 9-kill advantage. Pato gonna pick up another, I think really, a star player of this game. While Bay has picked up a lot of kills, they have taken almost just as many deaths. And for Score, Danny the only real bright spark along with JEC.
But Score Gaming, they have given up. They're down to 4 members. 5 seconds remaining. Unretired, they're gonna take game number 2. And kind of it, we're going to a third game. We're gonna see who's gonna beat this winner here of Score Gaming versus Unretired. It's gonna go into scramble, and if Unretired they can keep this up and actually continue to develop a lead instead of just giving kills over left and right like we saw in game number 1, then I feel like they will be well on their way.
Yeah, we need to see another solid performance from Pato and from Me Sweet, as well as Lion. All very similar scorelines for the team. But yes, as Dealer said, one more game between Score Gaming and Unretired at stake. The first place in the semi-finals. Severe versus Game of Thrones going on as the other quarterfinal at the moment. So guys, stay tuned and we shall return for the final game between Score and Unretired. Welcome back, friends from around the world. Unretired and Score Gaming. Only one of these two teams gets to go through to the semi-final, and it is Scramble that will bear witness to this last encounter.
It's always nice to see games on Scramble, and I'm sure this will not be the exception, kind of fit. As Score Gaming and Unretired, it comes down to the very last game. In the game that Unretired they won, it was extremely dominant for them. But Score Gaming, it was very close in the game that they won, and they were able to find that very last kill in the very last second, not the minute, but second that they needed it. And if they can pull out some magic like that once again, well, then they might just be able to win this game.
I've received word from Dulzy, team owner of Unretired, that they're going to be sitting out this third game. Apparently, citing that they recognize, Dulzy recognizes that he needs to warm up more. That's a pretty big sacrifice to be not part of this third decisive game, to be not part of even the decision, to watch from the sidelines when your team wins or loses without you.
You're definitely right, and I feel like Dulzy has been one of the performing members from Unretired, but he's not going to be here this time around, and now that means Score Gaming, they might get a slight edge over Unretired, but so far, they are close, but here comes a bomber.
We'll try and tear it open as Unretired. They are staying roughly in the center of the map. They've got the supply hangar there, which we can see Score Gaming are trying to lap around from two sides. Danny sniping up a kill. Still staying up. Currently 4-0. Danny has been playing out of their mind all series long and has been keeping Score Gaming afloat pretty much single-handedly.
They definitely have. Danny has been such a performing member, and if we can keep this up and just give them that last push, they're going to be in the semi-final kind of bit.
Well, Danny is trying to do everything by themselves, but has been knocked out for now, relegated to the back of the field as we are returned to dead even. Rodrigo, though, cut down in close quarters, back up from 7, just... Oh, I was going to say, gives across 2 kills, but a nice last second as Bay hits the airstrike. Unretired back in the lead.
Now kind of fit, Unretired just with 1 kill in the lead. It's not the biggest of leads, but it is enough for them to start developing it. Bay trying to see if he can land a shot right here. Once again, finding a lot of kills, but also giving up a lot of deaths on his own.
Danny continuing to perform for the squad as Rodrigo manages to punch for a couple more kills. It's now Score Gaming in the lead as Rodrigo works the way around the side, backs up for a second as the trade kill comes back in again. It's looking like we might be going back to game 1. That single kill separating the two squads. This one game determining who stays in the tournament.
The teams, they are so close. Oh, Rodrigo comes in from behind, finds that shot in one of the Unretired members' head. But you're definitely right, kind of. It could come down to just a single kill. The teams, they are so evenly matched, and they're not giving each other a single edge to fight from. They are just going at each other with a hammer and hitting each other over and over again.
Juggernaut Mobile, what did you miss? You have joined us at just the right time. This is our opening bout of ESL action. Unretired from America, Score Gaming representing Mexico. They are in their third and final game of their quarterfinals. One of these two teams heads onto the semi. The other will be knocked out of competition. Last time these two met, it was Unretired who were knocked to the wayside. Now, it could be either side going forward.
It certainly could. Score Gaming, however, they just have a single kill. There's 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. They would love to get 2 kills or 3 kills in the lead. There we go. That's 2 kills. Rodrigo finding that sniper shot. So Score Gaming, just pull back. No reason for you to fight against Unretired. Wait for them to come to you and for them to come into your crossfire.
Danny lurking, waiting for the slightest sign of movement through that little bit of terrain there. That's, I think, maybe Danny looking for a recon aircraft up in the air, or maybe a long-range grenade toss. Score Gaming, they set up a defensive line across the middle of the map, calling for Unretired to come and face them. 2 minutes left for Unretired to turn this game around.
Checking in here with Pato. Is ready to go out, ready to jump in, but JEC and Score Gaming, they have quite a lead now. 5 kills, Unretired. They need to start getting a move on.
So this is the reversal of Viref's strategy here as Bay struggles to get out of the center. Being in a defensive position is usually having a choke point in front of you. Score Gaming, they're defending out on the main map itself. Unretired are being forced through that defensive choke point to even come at them.
Oh, kind of fit. This will come down to the wire. 6 kills in the lead for Score Gaming. Whoever wins this will move into the semifinals, so it's high stakes for Unretired, and they need to find those kills now if they want to have a shot at that semi-final spot. But Score Gaming, they're keeping them at an arm's length with those 6 kills.
Bay has been crucial for the team, but Rodrigo puts them out of commission, with every moment being precious here, particularly for Unretired. Score Gaming, they have controlled this latter half. Unretired have got this final chance.
They're coming in for the push, but Danny and DG finding the kills. Rodrigo and 7, and right now Score Gaming, they are just so far ahead. Unretired, it's not looking like they're going to be able to do it. It's not looking like they're going to go into the semi-final.
Edge just stepping up for the team. Danny, of course, has performed extremely well, but Score Gaming, especially towards the end of this third game, when it counted the most, Score Gaming take a crushing third game victory, and with a 9-kill advantage secure their semi-final spot.
Congratulations to Score Gaming. They're going to move into the semi-final, as you mentioned, kind of fit, and they do have the opportunity to meet SimClan, Old Glory, or Score Empire in that semi-final. We're just going to have to wait and see who's going to advance, but I mean, with the way that they are playing, and if they can keep this playstyle up, where they, once they find that lead, can keep it up, and so yeah, can develop it and gain an even bigger lead, then I'm sure they're gonna have a fun time in that semi-final.
So guys, because we have officially finished one of our series, our first series of the day, we will ask you back onto stage once more. So we're setting up a community game now. Dealerless, let's go for a team battle, but where shall we land it? What map?
Ooh, let's go to overtime.
Overtime? Let's do it. ESL 123, all the global chat invite, all will get you in here to play during the break. It will not be commentated, but it will be on stream, so you'll still have a chance to impress the players who are watching. We know that Dulzy is very much watching, though I suspect they may be commiserating with the rest of the team. What an incredibly well fought opening round, and honestly, I feel like both teams deserve to move on further.
Yeah, well, kind of fit. Only one team can advance.
So, get in here, everyone. If we do get our next ESL match, we'll have to abandon ship. We will be looking to pick up another ESL match once this one is done. Oh, there we go, Dulzy, back into things. Again, I really would recommend checking out Dulzy's podcast. You can find through the official MC5 page and in the archives on Twitch and YouTube, and I think on Facebook as well. Lots of places to find, but I would also recommend, if you can, to actually I might ask Dulzy when exactly the next one will be, because if you watch it live, you get to ask Dulzy questions directly, which will appear on stream through his Discord. So just asking Delzy what time and date.
Okay, guys, so just to give you guys an update, in the upper quarterfinal, SimClan are taking on Old Glory. I'm trying to get a hold of a passkey for that one, though we may see Into the Wild going up against Terra X in the lower quarterfinal.
Alright guys, we'll be headed to break. When we return, we will do our darndest to bring you more ESL competition, but worry not. Either way, more MC5 coming up in just a few minutes time, but for now, your community game awaits. let's get it on. Our next round of ESL competition, Old Glory versus Zim Clan. Certainly, we've seen a lot of Old Glory recently, returning back up to form. But can Zim Clan stop them in their tracks?
Well, Sim Clan, they are the first seeded team going into today's competition, Counterfeit, so they definitely will have the momentum and no pressure on them. Old Glory, however, they have a lot of pressure to take down the favorites of today's competition.
Yeah, Zim Clan did pretty well in their last outing, beating out WA Spirit Wildcards and Score Gaming, who we saw making it through just before. Losing out eventually to Impossible Missions Force, who are not playing here today. For Old Glory, they suffered the same fate, losing out to Impossible Missions Force in their last major tournament run. But the one before that, Old Glory won it all.
They certainly did, Counterfeit, but can they win it all here against the Sim Clan? Time will tell. We are once again on the rooftops. It's one of my favorite maps. The two teams, they are dueling it out. Sim Clan just behind by 1 kill. Rooftops doesn't necessarily give us a lot of fast-paced games. More often than not, the teams, they just take it slow and steady, and they have one team on top, one team below, and they just wait for each other to make that one mistake.
Starting out, Old Glory doing pretty well. Ruse and Makoto, both with a couple of kills in hand. But yes, in these opening couple of minutes, the teams have been able to keep their distance from one another, though it's not for lack of trying. Ruse gets the kill through, has got the bullet shield. Military support available to potentially block off a route, but doesn't get the chance to put it down before MIT hits them from the other side.
Man, Old Glory are doing so well here in this game. We are 2 minutes into it, and they do have a 6-kill lead. It's not close at all like it was between Unretired and Score Gaming. It is very much in favor of Old Glory.
Now that last barrage of kills. Rai currently leading the scoreboard. Sophia getting in some good damage with that heavy. It's looking dicey already for Zim Clan, as this second set of minutes seemingly a lot faster going than the first.
It really is, Counterfeit. And Old Glory, they're sitting comfortable at the top. They are accelerating this game, and with them finding themselves at an 8-kill lead. They are in a good position so far now. The projectile interceptor coming out, the deployable cover being used by Old Glory as well. We're seeing some different military support come out, and I for one really like that, especially here on rooftops where you have teams pushing down from those stairs, and having that extra cover to work with means a lot for you to be able to hold that ground.
It's more and more important with every passing moment for Zim Clan to stem the bleeding here, as they are just getting hit from every angle. Ricky does manage to get one back in, and MIT as well. As we expected from MIT, who is very big in the MC5 esports scene, they have been doing well, but the rest of the team has been struggling mightily.
But Counterfeit, struggling is not what you want to see from a team in a quarterfinal scenario. Sim Clan not being able to put up the performance that we expected from them here in this quarterfinal. And Old Glory, it's looking like it could be a 2-0 for them if they play like this going into game number 2, which will be, of course, on construction site.
Oh boy, I mean, it's a testament to how well Old Glory can play. They're just making it look effortless now against players like MIT, like Canada, players we've seen around for a long time and are very accomplished in of themselves. MIT gets 2 back in for Zim Clan, but you get to see the difference between MIT's performance and everybody else, as Sophia for Old Glory, they eclipse even MIT.
Oh yeah, well, once again, Sophia, right there, finding 11 kills and only dying once. Sophia on fire right here for Old Glory, definitely helping them stay afloat here.
MIT continues to do well under the most dire of circumstances. It's an absolute rout in favour of the Old Glory squad. The Zim clan, I think at this point, just fighting for pride and the chance to maybe, just maybe, bring things back in game number 2.
You're just gonna have to think about game number 2 at this point, because they're so far behind here against Old Glory. Sim Clan, if they can get it back on construction side, at least they give themselves a chance at winning on Scramble. But with the way Old Glory they are playing, construction side looks to be a done deal.
Sophia looking to pick up a last couple of kills, maybe getting a little over enthusiastic with their chance to get this one done. Zim Clan, they've just reached up to the halfway mark. Will at least get a few more kills to make themselves feel a little bit better about their game 1 performance. But yep, it's been all Old Glory. Kiri round the corner with the shotgun. 10 and 5 so far, and a crushing first round Old Glory victory.
19 kills in the lead right there for Old Glory. Not something you see every day, kind of fit. And I feel like crushing is probably not the right adjective. That was just a steamroller rolling over Sim Clan.
You can see there, Sophia and Kiri both pulling off astoundingly good performances. Very comparable to MIT from Zim Clan, but sadly for them, they did not have that second astoundingly well playing player to prop them up. One more chance for Zim Clan will be coming up in 7 minutes or less. Our second semi-finals, as quarterfinals, continues. Welcome back. Old Glory, they showed up and showed off with a nearly 20 kill advantage over Zim Clan to open up their first on-stream game for Old Glory. If it goes again the same way, we could be looking at a second berth in the semi-finals swiftly secured for Old Glory.
They looked absolutely unstoppable, and if Old Glory, I should say, keep it up, this would be a swift one, but SimClan, they're the first to find a kill here on the construction side.
Certainly a decent way to start. MIT, as you would expect, the absolute champion of Zim Clan, struggling mightily, much as Danny was for Score Gaming to keep their team afloat, but Kiri gets a big kill. And that's the strength of having that Commander Shield. You can just walk right into trouble and not get immediately torn to pieces.
Well, definitely not finding themselves as a bubble when they find that trouble. Now, Kiri, having found one kill, is the one leading the charge for Old Glory. As the two teams, they haven't found too many kills. It's actually being a very slow one here. 2 kills to SimClan, 1 kill to Old Glory. And we've seen nearly 1 minute and 30 seconds of play.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that we're looking at these low numbers. We'll pull up the map and see what the teams are trying to do here. For Old Glory, they're approaching from multiple sides. Rusey, backed up by Sophia, both very high scoring members on the left-hand flank, looking like they're waiting for the perfect moment to strike. We've got Rai over on the right-hand side, facing off against Greed. The snipers shooting back and forth, but Zim Clan, they've got the small 1 kill advantage, and they look to be trying to run out the clock.
But now it's 2-2. Old Glory and SimClan, they're matching evenly this time around. It's not going to be Old Glory taking this without a fight from SimClan. And SimClan actually making this a lead for themselves.
Yeah, honestly, this is pretty much the best game plan I think they've got at the moment. Control the space, give MIT as much room as possible to work, or maybe don't look after them, and they'll immediately get put down by a cloud of Old Glory members.
Well, kind of it. I feel like this game is very, very close. And you know what, kind of it is very enjoyable as well. Now, Old Glory, they find themselves with a small lead, but SimClan immediately with a good grenade from Dumbo picks that back.
Sophia manages to pick one up in close quarters as the grenades rain down. You can see the 181% health there, thanks to somewhat judiciously applied health packs. MIT, though, with I think what must have been a headshot with their BSW, still able to punch through nearly 200% health.
But with 2 kills in the lead right now for SimClan, it's looking good. It's looking way better for them here in game number 2. We could potentially be seeing a third game going to Scramble. And then that would have been 6 games in total of our first 2 series here today, kind of it. So that is going to be very surprising and something that I certainly did not expect.
Yeah, that's been especially compared to this first game. I'm honestly pretty impressed. Sophia trying to get up the stairs there. Rai is there as backup to go face to face with that number 4. Does take them to pieces. Now back up to equalizing between the two teams. Makoto managing to pick up a kill from longer range as well. But Zim Clan certainly tremendously more successful in this game too. They've got a real threat of making it a 3-game series.
They certainly have, but Old Glory, they're still in it. They're keeping themselves even with SimClan, and now 2 kills ahead. So SimClan, if they want to go to a third game, they need to really start developing this lead, or at least just not, or be consistent in terms of finding those kills. But they are keeping even with Old Glory, so that is the first start.
It's pretty darn close. MIT has been taking a lot of deaths in this game. You can actually see that pretty much the entirety of Zim Clan have been stepping up. while MIT has not been able to stay on their feet through most of the match, most of the Zim Clan team are rocking pretty decent kill-death ratios across the whole squad.
They are, and Old Glory now looking pretty damn good with a 5-kill lead. They don't want to go to a third game, and now they're pulling back. They know that they have the control of this game, so they don't have to go fighting SimClan anymore. SimClan, they need to come to Old Glory now, but we're just seeing MIT pop his head out. We'll find out 1 kill to begin with. It is good, but it's only 4 kills that they now need to find. And I say only because 4 kills is a lot in MC5.
Kiri leading up the charge to make that 5 kills, but a quick trade back stops things from spiraling further out of control. Zim Clan, they've done so damn well in this game to get to this point, but it's seeming like in the last minute or so, it's gonna swing towards being a major Old Glory victory again. Not 19 kills good, but still good enough.
It's definitely coming down to this very last minute, but Old Glory is still ahead. So while we can't count SimClan out, they are in a hurry and they need to make their push now. Because if we go down to the very last second and it fails, they're not gonna have a single chance at making up for their failure.
And Bruce making sure the Zim Clan don't get a chance to trade back, goes in, trades, immediately runs away again. Old Glory are playing this one out hyper carefully. It's working out incredibly well for them, and Zim Clan just do not seem to have a response.
SimClan will fall prey here to Old Glory in game number 2, and kind of that means that our first semi-final of the day will be Score Gaming versus Old Glory. That is going to be one hell of a matchup. And down in the bottom side, in the bottom side of the bracket rather, Game of Thrones going up against Into the Wild. So we could have 2 Japanese squads in our grand final, and it wouldn't be surprising. We've seen that before.
Japan is certainly a powerful MC5 country. So we take a look across our scoreboards. Kiri getting in a whole host of kills, most in the game. But it's Makoto 9 and 2 who was a real big difference maker for the squad. Last chance for Zim Clan has evaporated. So as I said, that semi-final secured. Let's get out into another custom game, because guys, we need your help once more. We've got a break before that semi-final happens, and if you've got yourself your delicious water, you got yourself a chance to appear live on stream and perhaps, just perhaps, impress your fellows.
Kind of it. Let's go to the museum.
All right.
Thank you. Museum. I don't feel like we see that enough.
Yes. Big Gorilla, thank you for dropping by. And for Hero Gaming Simon for making that particularly impressive muscle emoji combination. Do enjoy people with solid emoji games. So Big Gorilla and Hero Gaming Simon, both moderators, and also Big Gorilla, a sucker for punishment, is also one of our ESL admins now as of recently. Yes, Putin, I am aware currently the map does cover up the kill feed, but it makes such a big difference for us in terms of being able to follow what's going on in the game that I'm hoping that will change, because on I believe on PC, you can actually, the kill feed is switched across to the right hand side. So hopefully in the next patch that will get fixed. But for now, we keep up the map for the most part, just so we can follow what's going on. I do agree it sucks not to be able to see if there is headshots and who the kills are going to, but unfortunately at the moment, we just have to make that trade-off. Hero Gaming Simon, you've got your drink? Lovely! Alright, we just need a few more bodies to get in here. We'll get this break game started, and then we'll be getting set up for our next ESL encounter. Senpai, please do join.
Delicious water.
Yeah! It's the only kind of water that I drink, dearless.
Oh, you only drink delicious water?
Well, you see, It's a philosophical question. Do I just drink delicious water, or does the water, when I drink it, just become delicious in of itself?
That's a good question, kind of fit. I mean, you are a pretty delicious guy yourself.
Well, thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
Guys, ESL123 on the global chat invite all will get you in here, but we've got enough to get started for our break game. Have a deliciously fun time, and we'll see you on the other side. Well, gosh. I guess you guys are just too enthusiastic for us. I think we actually had a full game there, so impressive stuff. Let's see if we can repeat that feat, as it looks like we have got a bunch of our ESL games still in progress.
I think we're about to get our pass key. There we go. Wait.
Well, shut my mouth.
Yeah, we do. We just got it.
So that's Old Glory versus Score Gaming. Dealers, you called it out before. It will be our first semi-final of the day, and it should also be a corker. And that's British parlance for meaning it will be good.
Okay. Well, today I learned.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, Old Glory versus Score Gaming. I'm not sure if these guys have actually met directly for a while, but they've both been dominant teams. I believe our first pre-game lobby is getting set up at the moment. So we'll take a very, very small break. And when we return in just a couple of minutes' time, we will break open this semi-final with our first game of potential 3. Old Glory versus Score Gaming, coming up momentarily. Friends, welcome back. It's time to open up our semi-finals, as on the other side of the bracket, Game of Thrones and Into the Wild clash. It's Japan versus Mexico in both of our semi-finals today, but only one of each of those two teams can make it to the best of 5 grand finals.
Definitely right, Counterfeit. The grand final can only suit 2 teams. Good job of doing maths. Thumbs up.
Alright then. Old Glory takes the first kill off of Score. And, Dealers, you praise Japan as being one of our top MC5 countries, but it speaks pretty darn well of Mexico to have 2 of their teams in the semis as well.
Well, it definitely does. Not often you see Mexican teams do that well for themselves. We do have score gaming, of course, but I don't think we've ever seen a full-on Mexican grand final. Correct me if I'm wrong, kind of it.
No, I think you're right. I don't recall it ever happening. Though you're right, it's actually relatively common. Well, maybe it's not as common as it once was, but it has, it's certainly not unheard of for two Japanese teams to be up there. But you're right, as much as Score Gaming have represented Mexico extremely well, the Game of Thrones squad, headed up by Moj Tava, have beaten out Severe to get to that semi-finals. If they could make it through to the grand finals, we would see history being made, but Old Glory, they're starting out this first game pretty strong.
They definitely are kind of fit. And now, Old Glory, they have looked pretty good in their quarterfinal. Now, if they can keep this up against Score Gaming, then that would be an easy way for them to go into the grand final. But Score Gaming, they are a legendary team, and it would be surprising if they were to just fall over like a paper card house.
Well, it seems to be that the Old Glory team are more than happy to topple a few houses on the way to victory, crushing through Score Gaming at the moment. And, oh man, Kiri scoring super high. Ruse as well, the number 1 and number 5 of Old Glory. Keep your eyes out for them on the map, because everywhere they go, Score Gaming members perish.
They certainly do, and right now Old Glory find themselves with a 12-kill lead with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left to go, Confit. I don't think we're going to see the timer run down, because right now Old Glory, they are just killing people left, right, and center.
Oh man, it is a dark day for Score Gaming indeed, but a chance for Old Glory to start working their way back towards their throne. Old Glory, Score Gaming, both teams have been around for such a long time, but this isn't even close.
No, it certainly isn't, and it's surprising. But to be fair, Score Gaming, it is not their old squad. It's not a legendary one with Taco and Gomitax, Danielle. It's a new rebranded one. It's some new players who are trying to get the experience going with some of those older players like Danny, who are just trying to train them up. And right now it's about development and a long-term project.
As much as Score Gaming may have a bright future ahead of them, Old Glory are here and now in the present, and presently they will be delivering a huge amount of points. 3 minutes left to play. Old Glory haven't quite broken through the halfway mark, so we may not see a full 50 kills realized, but right now 14 kills ahead, more than enough being done.
14 kills is so much in MC5 kind of fit, considering that the teams, they always just run and gun at each other. 14 kills is a lot, and it's not something you see every single day. So I'm surprised by this, and I would love to see Old Glory just be this dominant in the next game as well, because that would be quite a showing from their side.
So, Score Gaming breaking up to 15 for a second. Old Glory merely doubled the Mexican team's score. It does look like, though, the fight hasn't gone out of Score Gaming, as they have picked up, I think it might even be 5 kills in a row just then. Let's take a look at those hard stats. You can see the explosives being used to great effect by Score Gaming so far.
Oh man, Score Gaming, that's a lot of kills that they have found with those explosives, but it's not enough. They still are 17 kills behind, kind of it. So even though you can land those grenade shots, you need to be able to land the shots with your firearms as well.
The other stat that jumped out at me was, look at the difference in military support. 6 more kills purely off those airstrikes and bombing runs for Old Glory. Kiri, though, getting business done in close quarters with the shotgun. Score Gaming They need to get up to 30 before Old Glory are done with this game, or it will officially be a washout.
Score gaming. Well, they do get to 30, but they still find themselves with 15 kills behind. So kind of it's not good at all for Score gaming, and it's going to be quite a punishing defeat right here. And Old Glory, they're going to find themselves with at least one game in the lead. So next up is going to be Conversion. And that is where Score Gaming, they're going to try and make their comeback.
Kiri definitely going to take the MVP nod this time round. Some truly ludicrous kill numbers there on the Commander. Oh boy, Score Gaming in real trouble, especially if Kiri can pull off something like that again.
Yeah, man, look right there. Kiri 18-6, Rai 12-4, and wait, Ree, I believe that is instead. Rai 11-9, and then it is Ryusei, sorry, 12-4. That is impressive from all three guys. That is definitely the score that you want to see from a team in the semi-final and from the victors of the first game of a semi-final.
Well, guys, Score Gaming have got one more chance, but it's looking dire for their chances. Will the Japanese squad Old Glory take that first grand final spot? And who will they face against from the other semi? We shall find out shortly, I am sure, but stay tuned. 7 minutes away from our next game. Welcome, welcome, Score Gaming and Old Glory at face to face again. Score Gaming down by one game to Old Glory, who looked very dominant. D-List, do you think Old Glory will make it a 2-0?
With the way that they played in game number 1, I wouldn't be surprised if that is what we're gonna see. But now, we do have to mention that Score Gaming, they have Gomitax now playing. Gomitax, the leader and the owner of Score Gaming, is looking to pull something out here against Old Glory that could help Score Gaming to the victory.
It's an interesting contrast before, with Dulzy dropping themselves out of the vital game for his team, and the owner of Score Gaming subbing themselves in when Score Gaming are in their direst peril.
5 kills is what Old Glory they have now. Make that 6 as Kyrie finds one onto Rodrigo. Score Gaming slowly falling behind here. This is not what you want to see from Score Gaming. You don't want to see them make this mistake again and let Old Glory get ahead.
Yusei and Makoto both with solid starts to the game, 2 and 1, as the grenades rang through. A nice grenade up until the rafters there. Usually it's tough to land those grenades on the high ground because there's so many ways it can bounce off. Score looking to try and come back in here, force a third game. But as I said, if it's anything like game 1, that's a very tall task to ask.
It certainly is, and right now, Old Glory just finding themselves ahead by 1 kill. As Gomitax comes in, finds 2 kills. He's definitely helping his team right here. But Score Gaming, they're far from out of the woods yet. It's a long way to go, but Gomitax is doing his best at finding 3 kills in a rapid succession.
Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty impressed. They didn't have the strongest start, but have really stepped up. And Dealer, something I'm noticing is we are seeing a lot of Commander seeing play recently. You know, it's not just in the places it's most obvious, but out on these more open maps like Conversion as well.
They are definitely doing their best. No counterfeit. Which team do you think is going to win? You asked me. I thought Old Glory could definitely take this game, but you haven't had the chance to make a prediction of your own.
I can't help shaking the feeling that Score are going to bring this one back. I mean, this has certainly been a dramatically closer game. And if you'd asked me right back at the beginning, I would have probably given it over to Old Glory. But I think the arrival of King Gomitax for Score Gaming, their owner, taken to the field personally. I think that's going to be a big morale and focus boost for Score. And even if Score do go out here, they go out on a much, much better game too than how they started out the semis.
That is a good point, kind of fit. And I really like that you mentioned that Score Gaming, they're doing much better here. They certainly are 18 to 20. It's not the 19 kill lead we saw Old Glory end game number 1 at. So Score Gaming, they're definitely making themselves, or their presence rather, felt here in this game.
We've got Rodrigo out in the center of the map while Danny works the way around the side. Seven as well, providing backup in the center. One good fight for Score could turn it as they grab that first kill. Old Glory now just ahead by 2. We have got Rai sneaking around trying to find their way back in to get back some Old Glory kills. But that's the second one for Score, who are starting to build that momentum. Old Glory do fire back, but we've got the bombers and the drones out onto the field now. This could be a big swing.
Certainly could, but Old Glory is still comfortably in the lead, counterfeit. Score Gaming, they're not winning at all, and they're not winning without a fight. They have to go through Old Glory, and that has proven to be quite a task.
And it is the military support that comes in to be the big difference maker. See Ruse able to take shelter behind their teammate for a second as well. Commander not just good at defending themselves, but also great for a even more heavily teammate to shelter behind that shield as well.
Ooh, Score Gaming coming in here. They want to get that push in. They have 2 minutes left and 5 seconds. And they're only behind 5 kills, so Old Glory, they're not quite out of the woods yet. But Score Gaming, they also need to make this a marathon and not a sprint.
It's a long way to go, even if Score Gaming do win out this game, which is definitely a far from certain deal. Old Glory are still in the lead. Kiri putting out an absolutely blinding performance for them. 9-2 is just crazy good. The rest of the squad can't quite measure up, but when you only really need one player to be taking off and heading for an entirely different planet.
That is true, but Old Glory, right now, 7 kills in the lead. I feel like Score Gaming, they can't make this comeback. You have 1 minute and 15 seconds. Surely they can't get those 6 kills in such a short time.
It does seem less and less likely with every passing moment, with each kill that comes in for Old Glory. Score Gaming, definitely underdogs here right now. One last chance, one last minute. Old Glory, they seem to have that finals place secure, but anything could happen.
It certainly could, but we're coming down to the very last seconds, and Score Gaming, they're falling further and further behind. So Old Glory, they are more or less guaranteed to move into the grand final. They just need 7 more kills, as they have gone past 40.
There you go, Rai dropping down that deployable cover and the missile interceptor as well. I think maybe just a grenade snuck over those interceptors, those bullet shields. Very good from a single direction, but not impenetrable by any means.
One more kill will do it. That's going to be it. Old Glory picking up this series 2-0. And they're going to go into the grand final, where they will meet either Game of Thrones or Into the Wild.
Ultimately, the arrival of Gum Attack's not enough to change Score Gaming's fortunes. They look pretty good, but Old Glory looked magnificent. Kiri definitely taking the best performance of the game by miles. But guys, we need you on stream once again as we do get ready for our grand final. We will be waiting the result of the other semi-final, of course, but we can wait no longer for your attendance for our community game. Dealers, what are we looking at for what could easily be our last community game of the day?
Ooh, let's go for Capture the Flag.
You're out of control.
Wait, why not?
It's the most outrageous of game modes.
Why?
Well, primarily because, well, to be fair, actually, the iOS guys, they've been doing us pretty well so far. We've had a lot of players. Capture the Flag definitely needs a lot of players to really thrive. Alright, let's give it a try. I think we might get some more players if we put it on a more standard map than Canals. Even though Canals is a good Capture the Flag map, just because more people tend to play pretty much every other map.
We could have we ever tried putting it on a construction site?
I don't know. Let's give it a go. So, ESL123 or the global chat invite. This will be the game running in the break. Get a chance to show off your flag capturing skills while we get ready. Best of 5 coming up. Old Glory certainly set themselves up pretty darn well for a dominant finals position. But one of the two, Game of Thrones, a new team from Mexico, Into the Wild from Japan. It's certainly set up to be likely a all-Japanese grand finals, but I'm prepared to be surprised by Game of Thrones.
Well, same, man, same. But we can't tell you who's going into the grand final quite yet, as we don't know either. Hopefully we'll know as soon as possible.
And thank you, Hero Gaming Simon, for helping people out in the chat, as always. So let's see if we can find some folks in here. Shad and Kerry Belly, welcome, welcome. So we probably need about 3 on each side for the capture the flag, not just to end very quickly, as teams just kind of run in and steal the flag from each other. So we've got 2 so far. Let's find a few more. Let's see, did we let our good friend? Yes, we did let Pat, one of our admins today, know the results. And Elgato, welcome. Elgato, I believe Haxer used to use one of those as a capture device to capture his gameplay across. Of course, I'm using AirServe myself, neither of which we were actually sponsored by. But hey, if you guys are looking to make any of your own MC5 streams, you could probably do quite a lot worse. Right, Senpai. Remember them from before? Let's see if we can find them a friend. Ah. Wait, why is everyone joining the blue team?
Well, kind of, it's looking like it's helping that we put it on a more standard map. Start it, guy, dude. We're at 4 and 3. Start it up, fast. Go, go, go.
Not without Taco. There we go. Wait, no. They've unbalanced the teams. What are you doing? You're killing me. Alright, once the teams have got balanced, even if it's just for a second, there we go. We'll get things started. We'll catch you guys in 7 minutes or less with what will hopefully be the beginning of our grand finals. Old Glory, but who versus who? We shall find out soon. Welcome back, everybody. Old Glory versus Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones making their on-screen debut in the grand finals, as it will once more, as it has been in every semi-final game, and now the finals, Japan versus Mexico.
Game of Thrones versus Old Glory. Old Glory, they have so much momentum going into this grand final. They have been looking so strong here today, but going up against Game of Thrones, we haven't seen that team before, so they might be able to find a way to deal with Old Glory.
Mojtaba, we've seen around the place more than a few times. Game of Thrones, definitely gonna have, well, they've taken out Wind to the World. They've taken out Severe. We honestly didn't know what to make of the Mexican squad now playing in red, but they've turned around this rough early start, and they are able to push it further as they get the air support in to push the current lead up to 5 ahead.
Well, kind of it. You know what? Game of Thrones apparently coming out swinging out of the gates, doing pretty well here against Old Glory. I did not expect this to happen. I did not expect the team to be 7 kills up against Old Glory, especially with only 1 minute and 30 seconds being played.
Well, Issa N, who we're looking at the moment, is a big reason for that. Pretty much has the lead between the 2 kills by themselves. Terrifying stuff. As you can see, Game of Thrones, they've been packing in a lot of explosive kills, a lot of military support as well. Old Glory rocked here, perhaps given their first, well, let's say their first challenge, but their most serious challenge as of yet.
Well, Old Glory definitely need those challenges, so I'm happy to see this come out. But kind of it does also mean that we could have a fast grand final on our hands, unless Old Glory, they figure out a way to deal with Game of Thrones, because right now it's not looking like they have found a single way of hitting Game of Thrones in the guts.
I'm honestly super impressed. Game of Thrones really showing up and showing off, as Old Glory stumbling in this opening match of the grand finals. Best of 5 means that Old Glory have got plenty of chances to recover themselves, but I think coming in as a new team, maybe Old Glory underestimated what the Mexican squad were capable of. Mojtaba with the high ground advantage. Game of Thrones now ahead by 13. They're looking to try and repeat what Old Glory did before and have a opening very strong showing.
Now Game of Thrones, they're about to reach 40 kills with 4 minutes remaining. They just got that 41, 42. Game of Thrones, they are on fire and they're not slowing down at all. Old Glory, they are tasting their own medicine right now, and this could be a very quick best of 5.
It's an end on that heavy, continuing to impress. Frenzy as well, the number 1 and number 5 of Game of Thrones, both pulling out some pretty heavy numbers for the squad. As we cross the halfway mark, Game of Thrones, they work down quickly. 3 minutes might not even be reached before Game of Thrones are done with Old Glory.
They certainly just finished out here. 15 kills in the lead. Old Glory not looking good at all to begin with here on conversion. Will they look better on Museum? I'm not quite sure, because unless they figure out what went wrong right there, which was essentially just one guy stepping up for Game of Thrones, you can see that right here, 19-8. Unless they figure out a way to deal with him, which is essentially just group up and have 2 to 3 people always on that guy, they're not going to be able to deal with Game of Thrones on the Museum, which is basically the same map. It's a small map, and there's going to be a lot of fighting all over the place.
We've got just that first game done. Either team has to win 3 games total to take the cup and take hold of that number 1 place prize. So guys, Stay tuned, our grand final will continue after the break, and we shall find out if Game of Thrones can continue to impress. Welcome back, one and all. Game of Thrones and Old Glory. Game of Thrones impressed us in game number 1 with a convincing victory for Old Glory. They don't get to be old by being intimidated by the upstarts.
Now Game of Thrones, ending it out with a 15 kill lead kind of it. Can they replicate that? Can they once again take down Old Glory and give them a piece of their own medicine? We're gonna have to wait and find out. But Isa, and he turned up incredibly hard in game number 1, finding 19 kills.
Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, I suspect, for the Game of Thrones squad to be stymied by Kiri, holding the southern front for Old Glory. Everybody who walks within range of that 7-inch shotgun from Game of Thrones is cut down. I think this necessitates for Game of Thrones to change up their approach, and that seemingly is what they're doing as Issa N is advancing through, does get 1 kill down, but Rai is able to trade back almost straight away, and it's nearly dead even. It is dead even as we cross through that first minute threshold.
It's looking much better this time around for Old Glory. Now they are ahead, they have a 2 kill lead. It's looking like they might be able to contest here in this game. Game of Thrones not gonna win without a fight.
Let's find those numbers. So Rai, I think, and has got the, you can see the shield down in front of them, though it is a short-lived blocker. So not able to hold a defensive position for an extended period of time. Needs to be deployed very carefully. But Old Glory, they have been controlling this game so far. Kiri, definitely the standout player for Old Glory, doing so incredibly well. But Issa N, we can't dismiss them. Their performance was, as you said before, just eye-watering for Game of Thrones.
It was godly, that guy. Finding 19 kills, definitely the big star player for Game of Thrones. Now, having a bit of a harder time here in game number 2, as Old Glory did find themselves with a 4 kill lead. So Issa N not winning finding too many kills here for his team. Not being the big star player that Game of Thrones they apparently need as Old Glory. They are well on the way to victory.
Let's see, Poopy Newbie in the Twitch chat asking to play with us. It's quite possible we won't have time for another community game this evening, Poopy Newbie. We are in our grand finals at the moment, and we will be tying up when the finals are done. But if you'd like to play an ESL competition, there is the ESL site, play.eslgaming.com/modern-combat/global/MC5. The link's in the chat. If you've got a team and you'd like to play in our next round of ESL competition, which is open tomorrow at 4 o'clock UK time, you're still able to sign up for that. For now though, Old Glory, they seem to have signed themselves up for a ticket back to equalising this grand finals, as they too are putting out a dominating performance.
They really are, and Old Glory this time around looking to make a repeat of game number 1, but this time around it is going to be Game of Thrones at the receiving end. Old Glory ahead by 11 kills, now make that 10, but still Game of Thrones not exactly doing that well for themselves here in game number 2.
Yeah, the second game of Game of Thrones, certainly not as impressive as before. Mujtaba, their strongest player for the Game of Thrones squad. Makoto, very similar scoreline on the other squad, but it's the rest of the team that's making up the difference. Kiri doing better than Frenzy Rute, doing better than Issa N. Right now, Old Glory, they're looking pretty fantastic. The memories of Game 1 seem to be a long way away.
It seems like we have a series on our hands. Old Glory at 41 kills. They just need 8 more now at 42 to win this game number 2. So we're gonna go to Scramble, and then Construction Site could be the deciding map between these two teams, as we're at least gonna have 4 games.
The last few moments here for Old Glory. As, oh man, Makoto was doing well before, but taking a leaf or possibly an entire book out of Game of Thrones' pocket with another super carry performance, this time from the other side of the equation.
Well played by Old Glory, and even more dominant than Game of Thrones in Game 1. This was 18 kills. Game of Thrones, they had a 15 kill lead. Kind of it. I like what we're seeing, but I would love to see a more close game between these two teams. And next up is gonna be Scramble.
Take a look through those numbers. And again, it's Makoto who's really standing out there. But Ruse and Kiri both putting in time right as well. The whole of Old Glory pulling through when it matters most. But now we reset. Game 3 comes into with one game apiece, which means we are essentially back where we started. Going the Thrones and Old Glory, the difference maker, Game 3, coming up after the break. Welcome back, gentle friends, one
Thank
and
you.
all. And Deedless. For our grand final. Game 3 is where it all turns. Whoever wins out here will then only have to win a single more game to call themselves champions.
Yeah, and you know what, kind of it. It will all come down to the construction side. And if we are going to go to all 5 games, then Rooftops will be the deciding map. But Old Glory now seems like they've found the recipe to win here against Game of Thrones, because they're coming out swinging. Within the first 30 seconds, they've found 5 kills.
Well, dealers, do you know what the recipe for success starts with?
No. But I guess you can tell me.
It starts with an M. It starts with Mojtaba, or it starts with Makoto. Both of them getting some serious work done over the course of the finals. But for Old Glory, it looks like they'll be able to seize the early advantage as, man, first minute in and 20 kills total.
We're seeing a lot of action right now, but it is Old Glory coming out ahead. Kiri, it seems like he's gotten a lot of kills. Could we check in with Kiri, please, Counterfeit? Because I want to see how many kills this guy's got. Right now, 3 kills and 2 deaths. Not at the top of the scoreboard, that will be Helios, but overall, Old Glory, everyone more or less has found 3 kills.
Yeah, it's been a very even spread between the teams. You can see that they're all clumping up together for Old Glory. 3 of their members with 3 kills each. Game of Thrones, though, they're starting to pick things back up again. Makoto, who we saw perform so amazingly before, has struggled to keep those deaths down low. In fact, let's have a look. It's Kiri who's the one who's performing best in that department. And what a better way to do so when you've got a shield to take shelter behind.
Well, Counterfeit, that is obviously a good thing to have, a shield to take cover behind. And now Kiri, with that shield, slowly moving forward, but not finding anything for his team.
4.5 minutes left to play. Old Glory looking pretty good here, thanks to Kiri just being an absolute rock of the Old Glory defense. Will get swept away finally, but the job has been done. Old Glory now ahead by 9. See that projectile interceptor ready for Rai for those defensive measures, but can be used offensively. Throw that projectile interceptor into the opposing team's face, and you can shoot through it and into the heart of the opposing team.
After game number 1, we said it could be a quick series. But now here, after game number 2 and partly after game number 3, I feel like we can still say the same. But it's just for the opposite team, Old Glory. They're looking extremely strong right now with a nearly 10 kill lead. These guys, they are on fleek, like the young people they say. And they are not looking to stop.
I don't know if on fleek is still current, but what's currently happening for Old Glory is just that they've taken control of this game as the halfway point has been reached. Game of Thrones, they haven't been able to lean too heavily on Mojtaba, but maybe that's about to change. 3 kills unanswered.
34 to 27 Counterfeit. Those 3 kills doesn't matter in the big scheme of things, as Old Glory, they're still miles ahead of the competition.
Mars is 10, 9, or maybe just 8 or 7. Game of Thrones, I'm starting to feel like the comeback could be real here, as that Old Glory lead has gone from insurmountable to apparently just 6 ahead.
Well, you're definitely right, Counterfeit. It could turn around pretty damn soon, but Game of Thrones, they need to find kills without giving up kills in return. And that's going to be hard, but we started out right here with Isa N finding 1 more kill.
Airstrike coming in as Frenzy grabs hold of another kill, and Mojtaba a third. Another one coming through as well as Ryusei taking shelter on the backside. Kiri trying to fight out of the corner, but Game of Thrones, they have caught up with Old Glory somehow, and the pressure is on.
It's 41 to 41, 43 to 41 as Old Glory, they find 2 quick kills. This is so damn close, Counterfeit.
Mojtaba trading 1 back. Old Glory, they're in the lead, but Frenzy punches through to equalize. It's anyone's game.
Certainly, it's 45 to 45, 45 to 46. Game of Thrones not done yet, but oh my god, how close will this be? It's gonna come down to the very last kill, I feel like, between these 2 teams.
You can see Game of Thrones, they've got control of the center. Old Glory, they're trying to lap round the outside, which could be a mistake. Game of Thrones, they grab that kill. Ryusei trades back straight away, though. The respawns coming in are allowing Old Glory back into the field. Kiri grabs 1, Kiri grabs 2. 1 more's gonna do it.
But will Game of Thrones be able to do it? No, they will not! Old Glory, they find that last kill and they take game number 3. Well played by them. They once again got that lead early on and they kept onto it despite Game of Thrones making a pretty heroic push towards the end.
Oh boy, I was so prepared to give that one back across to Game of Thrones. They just did such an incredible comeback, but ultimately it wasn't quite enough. The experience of Old Glory as a competitive squad wins out in the end, but it's still way too close to call as we head towards what could be our last Grand Finals game. You do not want to miss it. This Finals has been fantastic so far, and this next game could seal the deal. Game 4 of the Grand Finals arrives. Game of Thrones, despite a heroic comeback, did not manage to overturn Old Glory, who now stand one game away from the cup and victory.
Game of Thrones still looking to turn things around, kind of fit. They need to win this one to force us to rooftops. They need to win in order to get to one more chance at winning this grand final. But Old Glory, they're still just one kill shy of them putting themselves in the lead. And now they are in the lead. Game of Thrones and Old Glory, they're going at it, but Old Glory are always coming out ahead.
That could be about to change though, as Game of Thrones take leave of themselves. Frenzy, mad, 5-0 so far. That is just crazy. And, well, we are not disappointed again. Old Glory and Game of Thrones, they haven't managed to quite hit the 5 kill or 10 kills total a minute mark as of yet, but they're pretty darn close.
Oh, they certainly are. You know what, Counterfeit? Game of Thrones still looking much better here, finally with a lead against Old Glory. I feel like we could be pushed all the way to 5 games.
I think that's definitely a distinct possibility. So let's take a look again. So it is going to be Frenzy, really the one to watch here. The number 3 player from the Game of Thrones squad. With that Cogv, we'll be able to cover up and try and take out that sniper's nest. Though unfortunately, the Game of Thrones taken out of commission in that last exchange. The rest of the Thrones members picked up multiple kills on the backside.
19-12, Game of Thrones in the lead, and things are slowing down. Dior trying to see if he can land a shot right there with the shotgun across the map. Apparently physics work like that. But Old Glory, they aren't giving up. They are just 6 kills shy of being even. Now make that 5. And Makoto is the big carry right now for Old Glory.
5 kills. Not comparing though to Frenzy, who's honestly been playing out of their minds. Charge down. The close range quarters combat turns ultra violent in short order as the commander shots going into the feet. The reduced damage from not being able to get those headshots through means those trade kills are pretty hard to achieve against a prepared commander.
That is certainly true, Counterfeit, but Game of Thrones, they're playing this so passively. They're not allowing Old Glory to get close to them. They're not pushing out. And with them just staying inside this building, they have a little base to work from. And Old Glory, they have to push in, they're sieging, but it's not working out. Isa and finding yet another kill for Old Glory.
It looked like Old Glory might be able to catch up, but that dream for them of finishing out the tournament here on the construction site could just be an illusion. Game of Thrones, yeah, they've really impressed. It's not just Frenzy, but Issa N, after a disappointing last game for them. They were previously a carry for Game of Thrones, have now returned to officially to that status as they grab the 9-5 scoreline. Drop down the shield and go charging out onto the battlefield.
Oh, but Old Glory is getting pretty close right here. Old Glory, 6 kills behind. They can still make that comeback, but Game of Thrones, they keep them at an arm's length, for they continue to find those kills.
3 minutes and change left to play. 7 ahead for Game of Thrones. Frenzy continuing to rock up some serious numbers. Issa N is almost catching up though. That command has proven to be so effective. Of course, not a universally effective against grenades.
Well, grenades will always take you down, Counterfeit. And right there, another grenade comes in. It is getting very, very interesting between these two teams. And I think we're going down to rooftops, to the last game, to decide whether or not it's going to be Old Glory or Game of Thrones who are going to win this weekly tournament.
Oh boy, I don't know if it's a map thing or where the teams are in the series thing. But yeah, it does seem to be that for the most part these teams, when they win out a game, they do so in dominating fashion. It could even just be that both of these teams know how to take advantage of being in the lead, and once they get there, they don't let it go easily.
That is true, kind of fit. And Game of Thrones, they have shown in game number 1 that once they get a lead, they can hold that. But Old Glory, they're not giving up without a fight. It's going to be so hard. They are down 6 kills, and they need to get inside this building. So once they get inside it, they might drop some kills, and that is going to push Game of Thrones past the 40 kill mark and very, very close to the victory line.
Oh, Glory, they've got a minute and a half to change this game around. Game of Thrones falling all the way back to the backside of the map, but they're not all there. Mujtaba finds their way into the spine of Old Glory and strips away any chances of retribution.
41 to 35. Old Glory, they're far from out, but Game of Thrones, they're getting close. And Old Glory, they're trying their best to keep up, but it's not exactly working out for them. Rooftops getting one step closer now for Game of Thrones.
1 minute left to play. Old Glory behind by 4. The kill streaks do come in as Game of Thrones try and find their feet. They're respawning right in the center of the map. It's an N, one of the power players. Shield versus Shield as Commander faces Commander. This time round, it's Old Glory who come out ahead. Maybe a last second reprieve for the Japanese team.
44 to 41. Old Glory can still make that comeback, but time is running out. 25 seconds left. And Game of Thrones, they just need 5 more kills.
Rise trying to find those kills by roaming out by themselves. Unfortunately for Old Glory, it looks like the reprieve is not forthcoming. One more kill's going to do it. Game of Thrones, such a good comeback from them, and it's a return to form for Issa N.
And it means that we're going to go to rooftops, Counterfeit. We're going to go to a 5th game. And Game of Thrones, now starting to wake up a bit here. Issa N, as you said, coming back, finding 16 kills. But Frenzy Mad, 15, and M, who I'm not quite sure which name that is, Mojtabap, or however you want to pronounce that, 10 kills. So those big players on the side of Game of Thrones definitely put in the work that you want to see from a team in the grand final as well.
Well, guys, it means that the 5th game will be coming. Game of Thrones versus Old Glory. We will have a winner. We will have our champion by the end of this next upcoming game. You don't want to miss it. We shall be back 7 minutes or less till this one is done. Welcome back, friends. Old Glory, Game of Thrones, the pieces are set and they have been put in motion. This single game of MC5 with 100 on the line. So let's see, rooftops, our destination. Game of Thrones, looking pretty darn good. Let's see what they've got for us here. Certainly, Old Glory looking pretty good coming into this last game.
Yeah, but same goes for Game of Thrones, being able to push us all the way to a 5th game kind of fit. I feel like the two teams, they definitely are ready to end out things right here, and both are more or less deserving of the victory.
From that initial skirmish that started out this 5th of the 5 games, it's Makoto who has come out unscathed. He said, the $100 on the line for whichever team wins out here. There is no second place when it comes to prizing. This is literally the difference of leaving with $0 and leaving with 100. You play MC5, in squad battles, in solo queue, the stakes are rarely this high.
They really aren't kind of fit, but coming down to the very last game, coming down to rooftops, Old Glory. Looks like they are the team in control. Game of Thrones, they are 4 kills behind, but oh my god, Frenzy Matt is mad and he's on a frenzy.
That was crazy! 1 versus 3, 4 if you count the one who took them down. Frenzy has really been the eye-opener from Game of Thrones, just showing absolutely no fear. Of course, that's not always a good thing, but so far it's working out alright.
Definitely has, but Old Glory, they're only ahead by 4 kills. Now make that 3. Old Glory and Game of Thrones, they're fighting all over the map, but neither team really coming out that far ahead.
Let's see, so Old Glory, they're staying ahead because of Ryusei, the Cobra of Old Glory, 7-2 so far, an impressive performance, throwing down a barrage of grenades to keep Game of Thrones from advancing. Good flank coming in from the Game of Thrones members there, almost catches Old Glory off guard, but not quite. It's an end though, is more than capable of going face to face.
Oh, they certainly are kind of fit, but Isa and it's not enough for Game of Thrones to stay competitive in this game. They're behind by 6 kills, but always the end goes hard. Will ever die, and now that makes it a 7-kill lead here for Old Glory.
So we do see a little bit in this game of some of the disadvantages, and I say this very lightly given what we've just seen, as more kills pile in for Old Glory. The disadvantage of playing as a very coordinated squad is that you get used to your teammate covering your flank, and as soon as that teammate goes down, suddenly the formation is vulnerable. It's an N. Look at try and make the most of that opportunity. They go charging in. Game of Thrones, Frenzy and Issa, they just don't seem to care. They will take on all comers, charging across Issa N. What a monster!
And it's now 36-36. It's so close between those two teams, and they are just creeping close to that 40 kill mark kind of fit. It's going to be so close here in the very last game, and it's going to come down to the wire.
Issa N, the heart of Game of Thrones, does get taken out. Old Glory down to 4 members. A disconnection could be very expensive for Old Glory. Let's hit up those numbers. It's basically entirely Issa N that's the difference maker here.
It really is. Issa N, 19 kills, living up to the performance of game number 1. Now definitely carrying the team to the victory line. Let's see if Issa N can finish out things. 38-38, things are slowing down. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go.
Certainly a more measured place as both teams realize if they keep up this current pace of just slaughtering each other, they're going to hit that 50 kill mark way ahead of the time limit. Rai puts Old Glory into the lead though with a nice pick-off kill.
39 to 38. Old Glory just 1 kill ahead, Counterfeit. It's not a lot, but it is definitely something. Let's see if they can keep that up, however. They need 11 more kills. Game of Thrones, they just need 12. So it's not like there's a huge difference, but here comes the push from Game of Thrones. Rai is getting flanked in. Will not be able to get that kill. Needs to end a Moitaba will find those 2 kills, and now Game of Thrones in the lead.
Issa and just performing like absolutely freaking crazy. Frenzy, one of the top Game of Thrones players, did drop out in that last exchange, but that doesn't seem to slow down Game of Thrones. Dior gets 2, but Game of Thrones, they win the war.
They really do win that war, Counterfeit. And Game of Thrones, they're so close. They can taste it. 4 more kills. Oh, Glory, they need 9. And they're falling like flies. Game of Thrones, they're so close.
Minute and change on the clock. Game of Thrones only 2 kills away. Issa N with with officially half of the Game of Thrones team kills on 1 player. That is ludicrous. Game of Thrones, they finalize it. They take down Old Glory, and it's all thanks to an absolutely eye-popping performance from Issa N of Game of Thrones.
25 kills. That is crazy. Not something you see every day, but Issa N said, guys, get in my backpack. I can carry you.
That will be it for us for now, though. Game of Thrones, they come from nowhere. They take down Old Glory, and while we didn't get that Mexico versus Mexico grand final that we maybe were hoping for to see for the very first time, it is going to be an amazing first tournament performance. Game of Thrones, they have done it. They are our champions. But for now, guys, please do follow Modern Combat on any channel you might happen to be watching them already. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Mob Crush, or elsewhere. You can find Daedalus at Daedalus Cast on all social media platforms. Myself at Counterfeit Cast with no S on the end. We will be back in just under 13 hours time for our last MC5 iOS tournament of the weekend. In fact, our last tournament at all. But now though, guys, thank you so much for watching. To Aviator Featured and to, of course, Pap, our ESL admins, and for all you guys coming on to watch us. We've enjoyed following along this tournament with you. Congratulations once again to Game of Thrones, and we'll see you in the next tournament.